Hello my fellow donuts and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. That's a damn long name. Let's continue. 8 hours already? Wow, didn't even feel how they went. I really like this game so far. Yes, please.
No fuss and we don't want to hurt you, alright?
Yeah, we just want your money, that's all.
And you'll give it to us, won't you, without any fuss?
Ignaz!
Did she just kill them? Okay. Chapter 2, The Fire Witch. Okay, there's too many witches in this game. Phoenix. Are we gonna place Phoenix right now? What? What is... Right! I totally forgot. It's been a few days since we played and I totally forgot that Phoenix was taken into the court. This looks like a torture chamber, more like, than anything else. Okay. The room is lit, but it's still somehow dark and the atmosphere feels heavy. Well, just looks a little bit different, but it's pretty much still the same. Even door, like, in the same area as usual, huh? Nick, what are we doing in a place like this? How should I know? Yeah, you were with him all the time, so you know as much as he does. No. We're just a couple of bakers, but I don't think they brought us here to make bread. You sure? Maybe they do need some bread. Yikes. Is it me or is that guard staring daggers at us right now? I can tell their eyes are covered by helmets. Mr. Wright, Maya. Oh, I mean, Mr. Wright, Maya. Oh, Espella. What exactly is going on? I'm sorry. I was the one who sent for you both. You sent for us? I'm being put on trial. Poor girl, again. Wait, what? What happened? I don't know. I just don't understand what's going on. I didn't do anything wrong. I couldn't possibly murder anyone. Well, judging by the cutscene, you actually did. Murder? I beg you, Mr. Wright. Please, I need your help. Just one more time. Huh? You need my help? What could I possibly do? Espella, I'm just a baker. The only thing I know about law is how not to get on the wrong side of it. Maybe that's enough. No? Wait. Hold on a sec. Espella. What did you just say? You said you needed Nick's help just one more time? One more time? I'm not quite sure myself, but when the knights came and took me, A vision suddenly appeared in my head, my mind. It was Mr. Wright. He was fighting for me, defending me, that brave blue figure. It was clear as day. Oh, someone's fallen in love. I was fighting for you? Not literally. No way. That's impossible. I mean, it's like I already said. I'm just a baker. I have a hard enough time rolling dove, let alone defending someone in court. Well, say thank you at least that she didn't make you defend you with your fists and face. I thought the same thing too at first, but I don't think that's quite true. You and Maya, at some time, somewhere, you helped me. You fought for me as a defender. A defender? Yep. What's wrong, Nick? I wish I knew, Maya. But hearing Spella mention a defender, I can't help but feel something inside of me just burning at the mention of it. Accused, defender. It is time. Head forth, you two. Head forth? Where are we going exactly? To the courtroom in which today's trial will be taking place. The Chamber of Fire. Wow. This guy is serious as hell. Chamber of Fire? Make haste. If you are but a moment late, a guilty verdict will be delivered immediately. Shit. Run. No way. Mr. Wright. I'm truly sorry, Mr. Wright. I know this is all so sad and it's a lost cause, isn't it? Well, I guess he doesn't have a choice. Well then, let's head inside, Spella. Huh? This overwhelming pressure. It feels so familiar somehow. Almost like deja vu. Mr. Wright. Let's go, Maya. Maybe we'll get a better idea once the trial gets underway. Alright. Let's do it, Nick. Let's... What? I think I got it wrong, but never mind.
What is this heat? It's like an oven in here.
Well, it's Chamber of
I will
Fire.
now pronounce the verdict. This court finds the accused guilty of being a witch.
Excuse me?
No, I'm not a witch. Please, I'm begging
Oh my
you to
god.
reconsider. I'm not.
This game is serious. What the f... Oh my
What?
god.
So this is the witch's court.
They just literally killed a person right now here. Just let's take a moment to actually understand what just happened. I mean, literally, person was killed in a game like, well, yeah, at least Ace Attorney games do resolve around dead bodies. But damn, the way she died. Okay. So, how are you feeling, Nick? I had forgotten what this felt like up until now. So, the memory came back? Huh? The butterflies in my stomach, and tension so thick you could slice it with a knife. All of these feelings. These are all the feelings that I'm definitely familiar with. Anyway, we are here to fight for Spella and get her out of this place. You better do, poor girl. That's right.
The
Let's
court is now in
do
session for the trial of Espella Cantabella.
Cantabella. I mean, I find it funny how her first name and second name are rhyming.
Defender.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, Your Honor?
Yours is a face I've not seen in any past trials.
So what?
But no matter.
I'm a
Start by
boy, you
stating
can't
your name,
accuse me of
defender.
being a witch, so shut up. Let's continue.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Phoenix Wright, Ace Baker.
So what? Was I wrong about his memory coming back or what?
A baker?
I asked him to come, my lord. I want him to represent me. This court dictates that the accused is free to assign a defender of their choosing, my lord.
Oh well then, this guy shouldn't be that surprised. He's supposed to know all the rules and he's judge.
Very well.
Or maybe it's happening so not often that he's almost forgotten about it. I don't know.
At any rate, the results of this trial shall not change. That aside, I've not yet seen hide nor hair of the Inquisitor assigned to this trial.
Inquisitor? Oh, right. I should have noticed earlier. No
Yeah,
one's
the other
there.
side.
Should the assigned Inquisitor fail to appear in court, I will have no choice but to dismiss all charges.
Wow, really?
He is an
Interesting.
Inquisitor of high caliber, but if he does not come forward soon, this trial will end, and victory will then be declared in favor of this baker.
Nice. Let's hope whoever is the Inquisitor, it's not coming here.
Hold it!
Shit. That, yeah, sure. That wouldn't have happened. Was silly to hope for it. Wait, isn't it Captain? No? It must be. Yeah, I think it is. He's younger than I thought, but I already saw his face in the
Knights of
menu,
court,
so
I have but one question for you both.
if you're wondering
Are
what
you
it is,
prepared
I
to
probably
cross
can
swords?
check it out. Here. No, I can't. It's in Layton's files. No, it's here. It's in menu. Mysteries. Second picture here. Yeah. So I'd say it's kind of a small spoiler. I mean, it would be interesting to see his reveal here for the first time, because I wasn't expecting him to be so young. To cross swords? I don't have a sword.
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum, am indeed prepared to do battle, my lord.
Oh, that's how you sound. I was making you a little bit more bold. Poor Phoenix.
Something amiss, Baker?
Yeah, sword is missing.
Sorry, Your Honor. I just didn't realize we could have swords here in the courtroom.
It is the way of the court knight. A knight must always ensure that he rides with a blade at his side. Now then, state your name, Sir Blue Knight.
Huh? My name's Phoenix Wright. I'm a baker. How many times will they make me say it?
Yeah, I know how you feel. It feels a little bit humiliating, right?
A baker?
Lord, quick! with the long face. You look miserable.
Sounds miserable too.
No need to waste your breath. This trial will be over before you can utter a single objection.
Well, we'll see. Expect to say a lot of that. I mean, objections and stuff. Barnum, put another one out of their misery. People are so damn hungry for blood. Hate people. Hang down the verdict already. Well, what do these people even know? That's the pressure. I mean, usually we don't have the background so active. Oh boy. What's with all this excitement? You'd hardly think this is a courtroom. The crowd doesn't seem very interested in the law, that's for sure. It's like they're all just hoping for the guilty verdict. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. First, let us begin by recounting the events leading up to the murder. Is that acceptable, Sir Apprentice Baker? I'm not apprentice, I'm Ace Baker. As you wish. The murder occurred this very evening. Yesterday there was heavy rainfall in the area. Eventually it gave way to sunshine, which came just in time for today's parade. Although a few hours after the parade ended, the rain set in once more. That must have been when Espella and others were at the Great Archive. It continued to rain until just before the incident, which took place on a small path leading to the market. The accused had been out doing some shopping at the market. She returned home on that very same path. And on that forest path, two rogues named Ropes and Mugs are said to have accosted the accused. One could assume the accused simply acted in self-defense. I see, Ropes and Mugs. Those two have appeared in court a number of times in the past. Two rogues, huh? Rogues. Am I even pronouncing it right? So far, it may appear that the accused was more the victim. However, the situation is different. That's right, the accused, Spella Cantabella, knowingly and mercilessly murdered her two assailants. But they still deserved it, right? That girl, isn't she? You don't say. I mean, she's right there in the cage. Yikes. There's that weird excitement again. I believe we now fully grasp what happened. It is getting late already. Let us begin the trial. Inquisitor Barnum, you may now begin. What, exactly? As you wish, my lord. The Inquisition will now hear eyewitness testimony regarding the night of the murder. I wonder who's that? I can't back down now. I have to fight. But I'm just a simple bread maker, making baker, living a simple bread making life. The situation is more twisted than pretzel, and I'm smack in the middle of it. But I have to do this to save Espella. Okay, Let's see if I can untwist this testimony and put this thing to bed. To bed? What? I hope you weren't talking about a spell or something. Wow. What? There's too many of them. Who's giving testimony? Allow me to welcome you all. Now would each of you please state your name and occupation?
Hold it!
That's not the way you do stuff. Well, wait a minute. What's going on here? As I already explained, Sir Apprentice Baker, this is eyewitness testimony. Yes, I understand that, but there are 4 witnesses. Indeed, this many people inside the courtroom could pose a health and safety issue. Your Honor, that's not quite what I mean. Witness testimonies are supposed to be done one by one, as in one witness at a time. Oh my god, poor animal. Let it go. What are you talking about, child? We'd be here all night if we did that. That's right, young man. We have witnessed the very hand of fate reach out to us this evening. Could we hurry this along, perhaps? These flowers won't sell themselves as much as my boss wishes they would. The path to knighthood is an arduous one, but I remain steadfast in my resolve as I travel down this long road. This sword is unreal. I shall not falter. I will be victorious. Shut up, people. No one is gonna listen to you. Let's see them scream my name in the end of this trial. I mean, I'm gonna take their hearts. Witnesses, again, state your names and occupations. I am known as Wordsmith. But what is a name? How doth one describe an occupation? Like the bubbling of the babbling brook. I flow gracefully around the rock and the breeze that is life. Nary a worry in my mind. Right, so I guess that means he's jobless. Who knows, maybe it's a real job in this world. I don't remember what voice I made for her. My name... I don't remember, sorry. My name is Mary, and this darling kid is Snowy. Snowy and I often travel to the edge of town to sell delicious fresh milk. Does this child make milk? Milk like that doesn't happen overnight. I work my hands to bones. Noah. To bone squeezing each drop out. Literally. This is disgusting. That sounds pretty frightening. It does. I'm Kira. I'm a flower seller. If you would all be so kind, feel free to purchase one of my beautiful flowers at any time during the trial. Sure, not. There's no way I'll sell them all by the morning. Oh, the life of the flower girl is so hard. Yeesh, talk about a hard sell. My name is Nightle? Nice name. Not. I aim to join our town's order of knights. I study night and day, though I am still but a mere squire. Joining the Knights of the Inquisition is my life's ambition. And I, Nightel, will do whatever necessary to join. Good luck. So he's jobless too. Honorable witnesses, I ask that you show this court your best when delivering your testimonies. Now tell us what exactly you saw on this ill-fated eve. Wait, his arms are just flying in the air. The delicious sound of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and the soft light shone faintly in the distance. Max grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground. I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those two villainous men burst into flames. There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used. Well, there was a lamp she was carrying with her. So, magic. Sir Apprentice Baker, you may now begin your interrogation. I have but one piece of advice. I suggest you pay it heed. Do not waste the court's time by grilling these witnesses over irrelevant nonsense, Sir Apprentice Baker. Are you alright, Nick? They sure love calling you an Apprentice Baker, huh? Well, at least this guy next to us. I'll be honest with you, Maya. I have no idea how I'm feeling right now, but I know it's all up to me. And her defender, Aspella's fate, as her defender. Her fate lies on my shoulders. I have to believe in her, and I need to start believing in myself. I can do this. I believe Aspella is innocent, and I'll fight until the end to prove it. Yeah, that's the spirit. We can do this thing, Nick. Hopefully. Cross-examination. Should I press them? Because I really have no idea what to do. First, I'm gonna save the game here. Okay. Menu. I wanted to... Items? No. No, how do I check my court files? Ah, present. Okay. I have only one item besides profiles. I can present profiles though. Let's read. The defendant accused of witchcraft and killing 2 men with a fire spell. Killed with magic when threatening the defendant. Witness unemployed. Seems to have fixation with goat's milk. Totally detached from reality. He even looks like a ghost or something. Okay. And case outline. Accused Spella Cantabella charges the use of witchcraft to burn 2 male victims alive. And a soft light shone faintly in the distance. And the next guy, this one, said, not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. These two contradicted each other. How do I, maybe I probably have to press both of them or something. What time would that be exactly? Dinner time? When else would the scent of dinner be in the air, if not dinner time? Do you see? Not so much. The sun had already been set. had already sat by that time. That should be adequate. The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight, is that correct? I have been dubbed a witness. Thus I must clearly have witnessed something, do you see? Not necessarily. In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at the time? Enough to see the nose of my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see? No. That doesn't add up. If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't possibly have witnessed anything. Do you see? Oh. Nevertheless, something caught my eye. It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what the sight was. Okay, I get it. It was ominous.
Objection!
What? I'm having a conversation here. That's rude. Poor form, Sir Apprentice Baker. Excuse me? I hate to disappoint you, but there was in fact light in the area. Haha, that's where I get ya. The last guy says there's no light. Take a look at this. This is a drawing of the crime scene based on the witnesses' accounts, as penned by the court illustrator. The court illustrator? I've never heard of that before. Well, they live in the Middle Ages, so... Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder. Wow, that's pretty detailed. She looks to have a bucket or something. I don't remember it being in the cutscene though. An illustration of the highest quality as always. Now then, we have established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set. As so, naturally the defendant was carrying a fire-lit lantern, as we can see. Lantern. Eureka! Indeed! Yes, that is what I was saying earlier. There was a lantern. A lantern, I say. Good for you. Oh, please, you totally forgot. Or didn't even know. Something. To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but... My lord, here is the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area, and that's what I need in my court record. Thank you very much. Speaking of which, Inquisitor Burnham, is this drawing. The accused seems to be holding a milk bucket of sorts. What became of this? That is a strange case indeed, my lord. That bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene. What do you mean? Then how do you know it was there in the first place? There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought they often make it off with the items they find on the ground. Yeah, like they took the bucket of milk. Literally, without dropping any of the milk. What? Great. Wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me to never set foot in that forest. This is great, Nick. We got new evidence now. Yeah. I guess you're right. You know, Nick, you totally don't look like just some normal run-of-the-milk baker. Funny. I'd say you're more like a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. Oh, any difference? I think you might even have a knack for being a defender. There is a clear contradiction somewhere in that testimony, and I'm going to find it. And I think I already did. I mean, if it's not what I think, then I'm fucked. Let's save first. Here. I was saving here last time, so... Yep. Let's just go straight to the last testimony and present that item here. Here.
Objection!
Music stopped, which means I was right. Just a moment. I have to press one button. Okay, sorry. Phoenix, why are you just dots? More dots. What is the matter, Defender? He's probably forgot what he wanted to say. Flashbacks. What is this feeling? I just felt the urge to shout out, right from the bottom of my lungs, while pointing my finger. Objection. I can't help but feel that's a word I've used quite a bit in the past. That's it. I remember now. I remember everything. That's good, because if you didn't, it would be a really hard time for you, man. Okay. Aha. Do you remember anything before that, though? This feeling. I feel like I can take on the world. Witness. What's with the sudden pointing? I am a soon-to-be member of the Honorable Knights of the Inquisition. I accept your challenge. Have at you. You say that no fire was present at the scene of the crime, meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that is not the case. What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker? What I mean is that the defendant was in fact carrying a lantern containing fire. Can you imagine? Those two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside that lantern. That is the only logical explanation. They're so calm. Of course. My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker. What do you mean? The only logical explanation. Do you agree with this statement, honorable witnesses? It is presumptions for a man that knows nothing to claim that he knows something about which he really knows nothing. Okay. Huh? Besides, how could one teeny tiny flame be strong enough to set them both ablaze like that? Well, the lamp was broken. Maybe there was something that could ignite a very strong fire because of that. I don't know. Who knows what's inside that forest? Some I don't know, gases? There were two of them. How could that flame engulf them so fast? I don't know. Furthermore, if they did burn as you claim they did, do you mean to suggest that they were soaked in oil or something? That's a good idea, by the way. Oh. Who knows, maybe their clothes wore. Well, Sir Blue Knight, it would seem you have bitten off more than you can chew. I definitely didn't see that coming. What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts of the proceedings thus far? Given the testimonies we have heard this court has come to its conclusion. It was a truly gruesome and merciless act, an act for which only one thing could be held responsible: the nefarious crime of magic. I probably read it wrong, I didn't know that word. Wait just a second. You didn't prove anything, so shut up. Is there something you have forgotten to mention, Defender? Not exactly, Your Honor. It's just that, I mean, you just said magic. That can't be right, can it? Well, it's a witch court, so... I'm sorry. I feel kind of sick a little bit. What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Which is the way... such is the way of this world, is it not? Well, yeah. That may seem to be the case. But no way is that actually possible. This court finds Espella Cantabella the accused charged with being a witch. Espella, a witch? A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself. The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense. Indeed, as such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death by fire. No, you're wrong. I'm not a witch. Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately. You can't do that. I'm a main character, I have to win. But that's all you have to say? There is no evidence to prove that any magic was really used. Who'd a sock in it, Brad boy? We all heard her cast the spell. Huh? Heard? That's right. Snowy, I heard it. Isn't that right, Precious? We heard that incantation quite clearly. Incantation? What? That frightening voice. There's no mistaking it. It was Espella's voice. Well, if she was at the crime scene, so it made sense if you heard her scream or something, because she was attacked by two men. These ears do not lie. I clearly heard an incantation most sinister. Ignace. It went. Incantation. Ignace? I probably read it wrong again. I don't remember how she pronounced it. It's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy, otherworldly court. Well then, it would seem the defense has no further objections. It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they each heard an incantation being recited. The court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer. Nick, we have to do something. I know, but what exactly can we do? Say, here, in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless. So we have to use unlogic?
This court is ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Espella Cantabella.
No, you are not ready. What's that? You? Hey, Layton.
Your Honor, I request that the court hold its verdict a moment longer.
Oh my god, he's gonna help us. That's cool.
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
I have something I believe will be of use to the defense. A weapon of sorts.
That's...
The Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages. Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
the Grand Grimoire.
We meet again, Mr. Wright. Well now, it seems things are already afoot here, although the real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared? So, are you here to help us? Of course, the professor always helps people in trouble. It is the duty of every gentleman, right, Professor? Professor? There is a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There is a time for words and a time for action. Right. You have been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I'm a little mystified. I'd have expected you to be more familiar with this world and its system of magic. Yeah. How can I put this? I guess that's not quite the full story. Is that so? I kind of had an epiphany just now. I remembered all sorts of things, like how I'm not actually a baker, and, well, how magic can't really exist. Then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are not in fact a citizen of this town, is that correct? Right. At least it seems that way. However, for now, we have no option but to accept this world as its rules as a reality, without first understanding those rules. I'm afraid you will not be able to save Miss Cantabella. But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe. I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such a truth cannot be denied. Indeed, that is why the Grand Grimoire is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment, you are tantamount to a knight without a sword. Okay. I fear more like an attorney without a chance, actually. That's what you usually feel like anyway, so nothing new. Right then, Mr. Wright, I'll explain how Grand Grimoire works. Okay. Something new. Waited for it for so long. Touching the Grand Grimoire button will open the... You don't say. That's all? You will be able to present spells from the Grand Grimoire in much the same way you would present evidence. This book will surely be a most important asset for us in this trial. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. I've gone ahead and bookmarked the spell Ignace for you. Okay. Ignace. That's the magic spell all of the witnesses said they heard, right? Nick, you should take a look at the spell. All I have to do is touch the button, huh? And first I need to save the game before we do. Is that understood, Sir Apprentice Baker? This case is quite straightforward, with very little room for doubt. The witness's testimony, coupled with the illustration of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear that what must have occurred. Not really. This murder was the result of magic. And furthermore, the caster of magic was none other than the accused. But what if it was one of those men? That, Sir Apprentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the court have crumbled. Is everything okay, Mr. Wright? Yes. No. Please help me. It would seem that photographs do not exist in this world. Photos don't exist? I guess that makes sense. The old time period and all. The sketch drawn by the court illustrator. Therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright. My final chance? I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony. However, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration. There's another contradiction. In that case, there's still hope that I can turn this around. Mr. Wright, you have to hurry. Look, the judge. He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now. I'll have to say something. This is it. This is my last chance. What should I do? I can't save the game, so I can't give up. Never. 1 second, Your Honor. The defense requests permission to have another look at the court illustration. I think there might be a contradiction in there.
Objection!
You are already out of time. All testimony and evidence given thus far has been proven to be accurate.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure, Inquisitor Barnum. Inquisitor Barnum. There's just one thing you have overlooked. A piece of evidence within this book. The Grand Grimoire? Absurd. I overlooked something? You are the defender here. You should have examined the tome earlier. You're right. I should have. But unfortunately, I was nothing but a simple baker until just now. Interesting. You have certainly begun to show your true colors. Let us see what type of knight you truly are. Have at you. The defender will now show us this supposed contradiction. The court illustration and the Grand Grimoire. Let's actually read about that. Inferno spell summons a circle of flame within 1 meter radius of a caster, requires an incantation and scapeter to cast. Skipper. So she didn't have that. Somewhere there is a contradiction between those two, and I've got to find it. This is my last chance. Wait. No. Ah, I got it. Okay. I don't think I got it. It's not there. The hand of the accused. She appears to be holding a milk bucket. Yes, but that milk bucket was said to have vanished from this crime scene. It's quite possible that there is an important reason behind its disappearance. Inquisitor Barnum, what are your thoughts on this? It is quite mysterious indeed, my lord. However, the Inquisition believes it bears no relation to the case. Sure, because it's convenient for you. Forest wolves simply came and stole the bucket, nothing more. Do you realize how ridiculous it sounds? Let us not dwell on the milk bucket for the time being, Mr. Wright. Rather, we should first consider any information within the Grand Grimoire that might lead us to a contradiction. I already checked it. That face.
Got it!
Did I get it right? Music disappeared. What is your point? According to this tome, using the spell Ignis requires the use of the witch's scepter, as well as an incantation. Isn't that right? Correct. For witches to use magic, they must be in possession of the witch's scepter, also known as Talia Magica. Magica? If that's the case, then there's one thing that doesn't add up. Take another look at Miss Cantabella's hands. Tell me, do you see the witch's scepter at the either of her hands? In. Meh. As usual. There we go. Let's see your point that sword at me now. You did it, Mr. Wright. But wasn't that contradiction just a little too obvious? Well, they didn't seem to see that one. You may be right, Luke. Eh? It would certainly appear that the good Inquisitor is taking this particular oversight rather too well. Huh. That is correct, Sir Apprentice Baker. But you should not underestimate me. This is perhaps your first time seeing this item, is it not? Right here is the very scepter you mentioned. One of the witnesses found it tossed in the shrubbery of the side of the path. Haha! Yes, indeed, that was I. I located it. My feet found themselves ensnared in the blasted thing, and it has sent me flying through the air. Somehow, I'm not surprised to hear you fell, Gramps. This scepter does seem to carry a most sinister air. Indeed, my lord. However, this scepter, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong all this time, will only work while in the hands of the witch, with the incantation being said aloud. Oh, it's too bad. I wanted to try lighting some stuff on fire. Please don't look at me when you say that. You see, there are 2 magic gems set in this scepter. magic gems. Looks like a red gem and white gem. These gems each contain a particular magic spell. By simply looking at these magic gems, one can easily determine which magic spell can be used. Nick! Quick! Look at this page! Yep. I already did it, so... Is that the red magic gem? Huh. Indeed. Red gem you see here is the spell Ignis. I don't know. If you look carefully, you should notice that this Skipper also has one more spell that can be used. One more spell. It must be the white gem. You're so smart. Mr. Wright, I found it. Here's the spell for this white magic gem. Demur. Vanishing spell causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. Simply chant Amir to make it reappear. Causes anything the caster touches to vanish from the sight. I see you managed to work it out in that crusty hat of yours. That's just... it can't be. The reason the witch's Skipper couldn't be seen is because the magic spell Demur had made it disappear. Ouch. That's right. In other words, the accused conjured a cowardly spell to camouflage her own use of magic. No. No way. Whoopsie doopsie. Inquisitor Barnum, please submit the Skipper into evidence. Hold on, please. Is there a problem, Sir Baker? Okay, I understand this is a witch's Skipper. However, whether or not the Skipper was in Miss Cantabella's possession has not yet been proven. What are you talking about, Sir Apprentice Baker? Isn't it obvious? I'm talking about fingerprints. You forgot we're stuck in the Middle Age right now. Supposing Miss Cantabella did in fact handle this witch's Skipper, then her fingerprints should still be on it. What's with the silence? You said fingerprints? Okay, now they will think that I am a witch too. Inquisitor Barnum, tell me, just what is this Baker blubbering about? I haven't the slightest clue, my lord. It is the Baker's first time in court, after all. Huh? I'm afraid it's no use, Mr. Wright. In this world, it would seem the concept of fingerprinting does not yet exist. What? I can't believe it. As I have said already, best you head back to the bakery, lest you continue to serve this court more of your half-baked ideas. They're about as half-baked as your terrible puns, Barnum. That was pun? Forensic science does not exist here. Instead, this is a world in which witches and magic are accepted as fact. Truly fascinating. Ah, yes. Poor Phoenix. What the heck? There are just way too many things I don't know about this world. Mr. Wright, I mean, Mr. Wright, I believe you may be able to take these things you don't know and use them to your advantage. Huh? The Inquisition believes there is no room to debate on this matter. The accused clearly attempted to conceal her magic. Better luck next time, Sir Apprentice Baker. Mayhap your next loaf will not leave such a bitter taste in our mouths. Now then, my lord, I believe it is time. I ask that you render your unwavering verdict.
Objection!
Layton is saving my ass. Pardon the interruption. May I have a word, Inquisitor Barnum? What's that? Who might you be? My name is Herschel Layton. I am a friend of the accused. Inquisitor Barnum, please allow me to confirm that you believe happened on the night of the crime. You claim the witch's scepter was made to disappear through the use of magic, is that correct? It did. Through the magic spell Demir. If possible, would you mind providing proof of this particular claim? What? You claim the scepter was not seen. Indeed, that is one possibility. However, a wise man must always consider every possibility. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? Can the Inquisition fulfill the request presented by the gentleman with the unusual head? The Inquisition cannot honor this request for proof. If you are certain that the accused is not a witch, then a burden of proof lies at the feet of the defender. Oh, come on. It's the Inquisition's job to prove that a crime was committed. Well, usually it's my part to prove otherwise, as I thought. Indeed, it would appear the accepted method of thinking in this world differs greatly from our own. I wouldn't say so. At least in Ace Attorney games, it usually like that. You always have to... I mean, it's always in favor of prosecution. At least it seemed like it. Unless you play as prosecution part in investigations sub-series. How regrettable, Sir Apprentice Baker, and you, Sir Darkhat. Darkhat. Interesting. Huh. Ready? Okay. Would anyone care to purchase any pre-testimony flowers? I've got a lovely array of bewitching lilies. Snowy and I not be dismissed so easily. We came here to expose the identity of this witch. Isn't that right, precious? A witch's scepter, you say? Yes, I know of such scepter. Allow me to elucidate the matter. What do you think, Inquisitor Barnum? Your witnesses appear to have something to say on the subject. Very well. Most honorable witnesses, I grant your request to testify once more. Tell the court all you know regarding this Talia Magica? Well, we have somehow managed to keep the trial going. I owe you one, Sir Darkhat. Please, Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton will suffice for the time being. But did you just read my mind? Oh my goodness. That was crazy. Too bad. I can't seem to choose menu because I wanted to Actually, yes, I can choose menu here, so we are going to call it a day and stop right here. Yeah. I know it's kind of a cliffhanger, but I probably won't be able to finish this anyway too fast. So yeah, we'll continue in the next part and see what's gonna happen. I'm really curious because this is something new. Phoenix in the world where his usual tricks don't work. But who knows? I mean, he always finds out the way. I know, he'll do it again. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I hope to see you in the next part.